Yo, what up? It's Donut, and you tuning in to all your Illuminati news.
News,
And
news, news.
we are here with Paranoid American. Wow, wow, wow.
What up, y'all?
Big news. The Ember Rituals are here. It's December. Ember. Something strange is about to go down. We see some stuff going down in South Korea right now. And you know what? It's interesting because it's connected to some propaganda of the Squid Games as well, which is super Illuminati. I've broken down the Squid Games and the occult connections to it, connected to Father Time and just the mainstream consciousness. So it's interesting. So what's happening in South Korea right now is that there is martial law, but they stopped it. They stopped it because the people were like, oh, hell nah. We ain't gonna do no martial law up in this piece, fool. So they backed down. But Squid Games, the #1 show in the world. This broke the internet in South Korea. Oh my goodness, who's that? That's Young Donut. That's back when I was.
This is like a year and a half ago now.
I've gone through so much. Yeah, it was a while ago. This is my Squid Games breakdown, but I went over the occult symbolism of this show because this is the mainstream. This is the mainstream. And look at the main character's number. 218. It's the 128 code. It's the code that Joe Biden sent out during the presidential alert text message. It's the day I'm looking out for because it's part of the 128 code right here in the Squid Games. And South Korea is very interesting. She's our ally in America, right there on the border with North Korea, who Trump is working really hard to get McDonald's up there in North Korea. But Netflix in general is this propaganda arm connected to the bloodline of the Bernays, the propagandists, right? For the mind control, the Jake Paul. And we saw Jake Paul Father Time ritual go down. And that's what this movie really symbolized was Father Time. And it showed it off at the scene on Christmas. So this new Squid Games is going to be dropping on Christmas on December 26th. Christmas is December 25th, right?
Every year.
So it's going to be dropping pretty much on Christmas on December 26th at midnight. And that's Saturnalia. Christmas is connected to Father Time, Saturn. That's where it's coming from, Saturnalia. The symbol of Saturn, the hexagon. Saturn goes into most religious stuff. And this is the 33rd Squid Games, too. I don't know if you know about the Squid Games. Are you a Squid Games
I saw
fan?
yeah, but I wasn't keeping track of the different numbers. So you mean like the little mini games? Each mini game they play, it's going to start out season 2. The first one's going to be what, the 33rd one?
No, the first one was the 33rd.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so this one should be the 34th game, technically. But in this movie, they were showing a lot of symbolism. On Christmas, they showed a lot of Saturn symbolism, but there's a ton of symbolism. I mean, you got the Illuminati. Here's the magnum opus symbol, the checkerboard floor on top of that, and this symbol of the circle, triangle, and square is also connected to Royal Arch Masonry and PlayStation. And PlayStation is celebrating its birthday too. That's what was trending right here. 30th anniversary on December 2nd. So yesterday.
Those symbols will also relate to squaring the circle too. If there's a really famous one where a dude's basically drawing this shape on the side of a wall, and this is the the representation of those three perfect shapes in unison. It's like an alchemical work, it's a philosophical work, it's a Masonic work, it's a whole bunch of different things. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. If not, I'll find a link to it.
Yeah, you're talking about the magnum opus right here, the square in the circle.
The squaring the circle is like a reference to a pretty here. I got it right here. I'll send a link to you.
Send them secrets over. And if you just get up in here, please smash that like button. I see everybody up in here. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, DJ Lewis, Vintage Love, Mind Trippin', Astar, C, April. Hello, everybody. We doing these streams every single night.
Night
For the big release of the Illuminati comic. IlluminatiComic.com is about to drop. You only got a few moments left before it's all out, and you can't get the secrets. Oh, so I've seen this symbol before.
Yeah, this is known as squaring the circle. There's a lot of different interpretations that we can get into later. But this is probably the most famous one that conjures in my mind whenever someone brings up the unison of these three different primary shapes.
People are really sad. They're gonna miss these nightly streams, but we got something big planned after these streams is done. But thank you for everybody's support on the Illuminati comic. Y'all got to go there right now, though, because in like 1 hour from now, not even like in 30 minutes, you won't be able to access the website.
The secrets?
You won't be able to access the secrets. So if y'all go now, we got hundreds of people watching right now. We're streaming all over. Go in, get us. I guess the goal for tonight, let's get this to 36,000. That'd be a great goal. We only got 7 days left, and we want to give some shout outs. Whoever signs up gets a shout out, and you get to feed my cat his medicine.
Oh, does he need some medicine now?
He needs his medicine. Yes.
All right. We got Brent Laub was an upgrade. They upgraded from the VHS to the VIP VHS. Smart move. Brent.
Thank you, Brent. Whoop, whoop. Brent. He got the VHS box. You get this VHS box. I'm going to show y'all the VHS box cover tomorrow night. We got Isaac Weishaupt actually joining us tomorrow night. You're going to love that podcast. That's going to be sick.
Woo, woo. Oh, we got another Illuminati Yacht Club member, which is the most exclusive out of all. Shout out to Bella Toth. Thank you. She just joined the Illuminati Yacht Club. That's huge. I mean, upgrade if you haven't. There's a limited membership only on the Illuminati Yacht Club. And a couple people have asked, if you get the Illuminati Yacht Club, you get everything in all of the tiers before it. Except for the street team. The street team is like its own little tier where you get a huge bundle of these to give out or to resell or do whatever you want with. But yeah, if you do the Illuminati Yacht Club tier, you get everything. Like there's as much as we got to offer and then some. Like these boxes are going to be huge. But so we also got Richard Manuel, who pledged for the trading card combo. Shout out to Richard.
Whoop whoop Richard. Nice.
We got a whoop whoop Catherine Selby, who sprung for the color combo, which is definitely the baseline. Like you were gonna want to get this thing in color.
Oh yeah. I mean, you want to access them secrets, you're gonna want to get it in full definition. Look, like this comic book is off the hook because it's full of symbolism. You get the whole history of the Illuminati. Can
we show a preview? Can we show another preview we haven't shown yet?
Yeah, we could show it. Are those all the names?
No. We got Steve Groom, who got the VHS box. You're gonna love that.
Woo woo.
Alexander Shuttleworth also got the color combo.
What a cool name, Alexander. Alex Shuttleworth. Not because Alexander. I'm Alex.
Alexandra.
Oh, Alexandra. Whoop, whoop. I like
Alexandra.
that last name though. Shuttleworth.
Shuttleworth. Sabra or Sabra, who got a digital deluxe.
Digital Deluxe.
And then this is actually a super dope name, Americo Navedo, who got the color combo. Thank you, Americo. What a dope name.
Thank you. God bless you.
So yeah, we got another preview, I think, that Donut's going to show us that we have not revealed yet. This is a new one, and this is actually this is one of the more important panels, I think, in the whole book. And it's going to show some of the chops. It's going to show how deep research that we've gone into in order to come up with as much context as we can give you. Well, this one right here is an homage to the cover of Illuminatus trilogy by Robert Anton Wilson. And I know that you got that on hand. You've got it on your desk all the time.
Bro, I love how the water is on the checkerboard floor turned into water. I like the little subtle symbolism all throughout this book. Yeah. Super good.
But where was that splash one that had the 5 different people on it?
This one?
Yeah. So this one, maybe it looks innocuous, but this is actually one of the more important panels, I think, in the entire book. Because this represents the bridge between what happened to the Illuminati. Like, who was talking about the Illuminati between the late 1790s, after they were apparently dissolved, all the way up into the 20th century? Like, who actually held that torch? So not in chronological order, but these are the different people that were involved. The guy on the far left is a guy named Myron Fagan. And if you don't know who he is, that's on you, because every other conspiracy theory that we hear today about the CFR or the Rockefellers or the Trilateral Commission or all of those classic like top 40 conspiracy hits, they essentially came from this Myron Fagan guy. And I'm saying the term, top 40 and classic hits, because a lot of people got introduced through these concepts because of his vinyl record set. He has got these 3 different vinyl records that he actually put out, and I think in the 50s or 60s, that explained the most complicated political corruption conspiracy theories that most people had ever come across. This was one of the very first crossovers into a different medium that we ever see. And later on, we'll talk about in another panel, John Todd. But John Todd got a very similar start talking about the Illuminati. He put out these cassette tapes, which again branched into a completely different audience than the ones that are reading these occult books or that are scouring and looking about European and American history. This one cut through all that, and now you might come across this in the actual record store. I know for a fact that I had seen these in the record store before, but this was in the early 2000s. I wasn't even thinking like, wow, I should grab these and sample the quotes, because I put it on. It was just a dude talking the whole time. I was like, where's the music? Where's the dope little breakdowns and the drum loops? They weren't in there, but I regret not grabbing it, because I think this 3-pack that you see right here, I've seen these go for $300, $400, $500 just for these, because these are part of conspiracy theory lore. So Myron Fagan, he kind of put forth a lot of what gets regurgitated today, 100 years later almost, over and over again. So if you've never heard about this before, if you've never heard the name Myron Fagan, you didn't know about these Illuminati vinyl records, you can go on archive.org. I'm pretty sure you can go on YouTube and listen to these things in full. So just to get an idea of where your roots come from, this is like a quintessential American conspiracy theorist VIP legend right here.
Well, Jordan Maxwell was a big fan of this, and he always talked about it in his lectures.
But he probably listened to this growing up.
Exactly. So like that's where that's why I like that you added this in there with the dude up there on the left. A big inspiration for Jordan Maxwell. Who's this? Aleister Crowley?
No, this is a guy named John Robison.
Robert, yeah, he wrote the book. Yeah, okay. Proof of Conspiracy.
He was a British physicist. He was a mathematician. He was a professor. He was an academic. Yeah, there's the image of him. But he also he wrote a book called Proofs of Conspiracy in 1797, and he basically was one of the very first people to claim that Freemasonry had been infiltrated by Adam Weishaupt and the Order of the Illuminati. So this first like public declaration is the root of also a lot of Freemasonic conspiracy theories that go on today. This is a really, really
Yeah, this
important
is
person to know about.
read by George Washington too. He read this, right?
Right. He was a contemporary to all of these people. This wasn't someone writing later on in the future about these suggested ideas of what the Bavarian Illuminati might have done from lore. Like he was alive at the time of the Bavarian Illuminati and was making these observations in real time, saying, "Hey, Freemasonry was infiltrated," which it was. I mean, we know by Philo's reply he basically admits that, and it wasn't even like a nefarious infiltration. It was like, yeah, of course we would. Of course we would tap all of my big donors in order to join this new club that we had just started. So
And this is
yeah,
Philo's reply. This is the guy who actually uh, made the Illuminati. So we are going through these books and this is why it's so important to grab your copy of the Illuminati comic. It is absolutely a wonderful piece of art. Click that link below. Like I said, we doing these streams every single night. I don't know if y'all are sick of us yet, but we going hard and we gonna keep on coming on here and letting y'all know, and for y'all to access these secrets. So click that link below and then we'll give you a shout out. I'm just super impressed with how we beat Charlemagne the God. This mainstream guy dropped an Illuminati comic as well a month prior. He was promoted by the actual Illuminati. This guy works with the Biden crime family. He interviews them. He runs the Breakfast Club, the most mainstream hip hop show in the world. You know what I mean? He has Facebook advertising. I am not able to advertise on Facebook. I cannot run an online business. Even if I try to create new accounts under new emails, I'm put on some sort of list from what I talked about on this channel in 2019, 2020. So I can't even operate on fair playing
they
ground.
call it persona non grata, or if you want to be a Mason about it, you've been blackballed. You've been actually blackballed.
I've been blackballed. And because of your support, we outperformed their comic. The mainstream being promoted by Variety Magazine, which is a socialist 322 Skull and Bones connected real Illuminati stuff, promoted their magazine over here at this independent donut Paranoid American. We outperformed them because of your support. Also, it's all up to God at the end of the day. But with all that, we able to outperform their comic book. So I mean, that is a huge win for anybody who's an independent artist, rapper, podcaster, entrepreneur. I mean, anything is possible, and that's what I loved about the Toxic Avenger. Is I had the toys as a kid, and I was like, wow, this is so cool, it's so creative. And then I saw that there was a film at Blockbuster, and I watched it, and it was awful. And I was all like, I can make a better film than this. And it was in Blockbuster. And it inspired me to be like, anything is sort of possible. So hopefully we're inspiring you over here to create, to build. That is, at the end of the day, the coolest. So thank you for all y'all support, for sure, 100%. And click the link. I got the link pinned. Let's try to get this. I want to surpass Charlemagne the God. We already did, but I want to go even further.
So, do you know who the guy in the middle is?
Let me guess. He is I have no idea.
This is Thomas Jefferson,
Oh,
and
okay.
and the
Okay.
reason
Rough
that he's in
Rider.
there. So this
Rough
this
Rider.
panel of these people, again, it represents the chronological order of
Dude.
references to the Illuminati on the world stage. These are people that were talking about it in very large platforms. And Thomas Jefferson, in particular, he had a letter that he wrote in 1800, January 31st, 1800, and he specifically mentions Adam Weishaupt. He mentions the Illuminati by name, and he talks about a book that he had read called "The Antisocial Conspiracy." And this is it right here. The Antisocial Conspiracy was written by a Jesuit named Abbe Burrell. And Abbe Burrell, he was sort of enfranchised by the Jesuits being kicked out of Ingolstadt. The Pope came out and he basically said, okay, no more Jesuits. I'll oversimplify this, but Jesuits get sort of kicked out of power by the Pope. And he sees in real time, he watches the Bavarian Illuminati take over the roles that all the Jesuits had previously taken. So he's got his own personal bone to pick against the Bavarian Illuminati, and that comes out through this book, Antisocial Conspiracy, in which Thomas Jefferson gets wind of, and he, I think, reads one of the volumes, and in that volume, he picks up on this Illuminism, and they talk about it as if it were this. He says the cry of a mad dog. But also in that book, Antisocial Conspiracy, they specifically, the writer of that, the Jesuit, he talks about a New England Illuminati. He's not talking about the Bavarian Illuminati. New England would have been the new colonies. This would have been the beginning stages of America, and this kind of implies that it had made its way there. There was another famous letter where George Washington is talking about not being concerned about the Illuminati. That he basically, paraphrasing, he's like, I'm a Mason. I know all the other big Masons. Don't worry about it. I haven't seen any infiltration of the Illuminati here. But meanwhile, Thomas Jefferson, he's reading a book that says, no, they've already made it there. They've already got an entire sect called the New England Illuminati. So if you don't want to take Thomas Jefferson's word for it, I don't know what else I can even do to support that the Illuminati lived on way outside of the 1780s or the early 1790s when it was said to have dissolved. So
that's what I'm talking about, though. That's why this is an amazing comic book, is because you get actual historical history of America, of the Illuminatis.
And I don't know if Myron Fagan or John Robison have ever been in a comic book before. I don't even know if they've been illustrated before.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That is really cool. And also Thomas Jefferson, he died on the 4th of July, like many other founding fathers. All the founding fathers be dying on 4th of July because it's a ritual sacrifice. They probably didn't even die on that day. And there are a lot of other things too, but that's for another comic book.
All right. The next two names, I will be shocked if anyone knows this next one. And I won't even quiz you, but the guy's name is Charles Heckthorne. And Charles Heckthorne wrote in a very extensive sort of reference book, like an encyclopedia of secret societies. Yeah, this is it right here. I've actually got like 3 copies of this because I was looking at them on eBay and they would pop up for like $20. So every time I see them affordable, I grab this set just because I want to make sure I can put it in the hands of people that actually care about it, not just trying to flip it.
You look so beautiful, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I like that chain. It looks like you got some beads on there. That's
Someone's gonna get triggered by the chain.
Bro, check out this shit right here. I got this. Ernest Goes to Camp Crystal Lake. Y'all want to see Evil Donut? Damn it.
We just turn the light red and that makes you evil?
Hold up. I was practicing this before the show. Yo, what up, dog? It's Evil Donut.
We can ramp that up. We can make a better evil donut lighting setup for you.
I like this. This actually look kind of sick.
This book right here, I'll read off. Let me see if it's got just on the back cover. This is what the description says. It says, I don't got enough light here. Druids, Magi, Gnostics, Mithraics, Sons of the Widow, Emanationists, Carbonari, Camaristi, Essenes, Rosicrucians, Ismailites, Illuminati, Judiciary, Vem, Thugs, Assassins, Templars, Scopsi. I hadn't even heard of half of these ones. The Carbonari, this might have been one of the first books that I ever read that talked about the Carbonari, outside of some of the claims that come up with like Albert Pike. And anyways, I could talk about this book for hours and hours and hours, but again, this is an instrumental work that continues this investigation and more information being revealed about the Bavarian Illuminati after they had already been gone for, at this point, a generation or two. So Charles Heckthorne is another person that very much kind of carried this torch and continued information about all this.
Wow.
So this is about 50 years after Thomas Jefferson writes about it.
Will never been in a comic book, so
he's definitely never been in a comic, and neither has the lady at the end. And her name is Nesta Webster. And if you look into Nesta Webster, she was, I believe, the David Icke of her day, for lack of a better example. She was the OG David Icke minus the reptilians, but she basically spread all the same conspiracy theories that you might be used to today. She was spreading the exact same ones in England a long time before any of us were even alive.
Yeah, and also I've heard that her husband was super sketch, and her research was actually also like super sketch as well, because of her husband's connections to I don't remember what it is, but I definitely will get that information for you, Paranoid, because I know
she very much popularized the idea that Masons and Bavarian Illuminati were behind the French Revolution, which gets repeated now almost as if it were fact. But she was one of the very first people that was putting this out into the world through many, many different books. She's sort of the prototype of Alex Jones and Jordan Maxwell, and William Cooper. Like she, what is it? Like she walks so they could run. That's basically her. She had a book called Behind the World Revolution, Secret Societies and Subversive Movements, which reminds me of like Michael Sarion style books, subversive use of symbolism in the media. Like all of this, again, I don't think the conspiracy theory world would look anywhere near the same if it weren't for Nesta Webster.
Yeah, I got them books too. Let me see. Hold up. Let me see if I can pull up one of them. Oh no, actually this is Queen Borough. This is someone else. Lady Queen Borough.
This is her entry on Wikipedia. It says Nesta Webster revived conspiracy theories about the Illuminati. She claimed the secret society's members were occultists, plotting a communist world domination through a Jewish cabal with Masons and Jesuits. She blamed the group for events including French Revolution, 1848 Revolution, the First World War, the Bolshevik Revolution. And then she also ends up inspiring the John Birch Society. So does
that's even sauce.
Well, she kind of planted a lot of these seeds. She was talking about the protocols. I won't even say the rest of the name of that because it triggers.
Yeah, and that's us too.
But she basically was one of the main contributors in the paper that was publishing the protocols.
I'm gonna get you this information on her husband. I gotta find it. I gotta unlock them secrets.
So I mean, she was high connected too. Her husband was high up in the Indian government, I think in the through the police force, but she was not, just some random bumpkin on the side of the street either. But again, she's made it in the comic book because she absolutely represents a direct lineage of how do we still know about the Illuminati in 2024 if it were so secret. It's largely because of the 5 people in that one panel. And now, once you see that and once you know the names, you'll be able to remember who they are, because now you got a visual reference to all this. This is building a literal memory palace. The whole comic is sort of oriented around this visual journey through the history of the Illuminati so that you can retain all this information way easier. What Myron Fagan, Joe Robinson, Thomas Jefferson, Charles Heckthorne, Nesta Webster. I didn't know what all those, I wouldn't be able to recite all those before working on this and seeing those visuals, because now when I close my eyes, I can see that panel and I can just walk through the 5 people and name them all. So anyway, it's important. These ones are really, really important.
IlluminatiComic.com. Got those links down below. Go there now. Looks like we did get another sign up. Let's get this past 36,000 within the next 20 minutes. Pretty please, because Kickstarter is going to actually shut down in 29 minutes. So we only got 29 minutes for y'all to sign up to get us past this goal.
Well, we got another very smart individual, Julian Rios, upgraded to the VHS box. So you're gonna be incredibly happy with this VHS box.
That's the move, is to get the VHS box, because once you get the VHS box, if you upgrade to the VHS box, you get extra goodies, like massive extra goodies. Like every time we crack through one of these goals, the VHS box gets packed even thicker than a Snicker. You know what I mean?
Like, can we get another preview of that VHS box?
I'll preview it tomorrow. I'll get Pukey to send that over tomorrow, because I've showed quite a bit of it. He did send me it over, but I want to. I'll wait.
So we got another preview of art updates tomorrow. Then we'll show more panel artwork that we haven't shown before. We'll show the VHS box. We've already revealed the Schizo Splash, which is probably my favorite thing so far. And there's going to be another Schizo Splash too. But the artist isn't going to have time to make it for us to release it and all that. But you're going to get another Schizo Splash in all these packs.
Yeah, and we only got 28 minutes before Kickstarter does some updates. So let's try to get everybody to. You can click that link. I believe you could.
It's like an episode of 24 with the time counting down.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get past that 36K and unlock them secrets, because as you see, it goes deep. The Illuminati comic, it's wild, and we got almost 1,000 people up in here right now. We're streaming all over the place. I never know where the views are coming from, though. My Twitter's been doing better. A big thing in the news right now is cryptocurrency. That's what's on everybody's mind. It's at a 3.5 trillion market cap, and me going to all these events, hanging out with Bitcoin millionaires like Christopher Green, and just seeing this mania, which I don't even think the mania has started, but the greed is there. But a lot of it is insiders adding their foundational supplement of Black Rocks and all these big institutions into it, and then manipulating the prices pretty much to take your money. It's the casino, and it is connected to the Squid Game. So everything happening on the world stage is happening through some algorithmic think tank, I guess is a good way to call it. I don't know what to call it, but I think I'm going to be going on think tank. But South Korea, the Squid Games, all this is happening, and it is connected to crypto, because crypto is the casino. They're opening the casino up. So the house has put their money down, and the house always wins. You know what I mean? So the casino is opening up as the economy is rougher and rougher, and robots are taking over the job. And the crypto isn't for humans. Bitcoin's not created for you and, for me. It's created for the Tesla bots. It's created for the second layer of the internet with the AI. ChatGPT, for example, was released, but they've had that technology for a long, long time. And Squid Games being released, the reason it's so popular is because people can relate to it. It's about financial ruin. We're all in financial ruin right now. Most of the world financial ruin, and most of the world is unbanked. And so cryptocurrency, Dogecoin, these meme coins have been uh, promoted in the mainstream by the mainstream, like Elon Musk, who's going to Neuralink your butthole straight through the spinal cord into the brain, in the brain chip. But the cryptocurrency of Squid Game scam, that was a very popular, based off of the South Korean Netflix Squid Game show. Squid Coin, that was big news in 2021. And this is coming out again on Christmas. The
And was that
Squid
really
Game.
3 years ago that Squid Games was out?
Yeah, Squid Games came out like during like the lockdown, and I really heavily covered it as a fan of the show. I'm a huge fan of the South Koreans and their filmmaking. They make a lot of movies about Illuminati-esque stuff. You got Parasite, you got Snowpiercer, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Squid Games. They're crushing it in filmmaking because America has castrated itself creatively because of the PC type culture of censorship, where we have to say certain words just to tiptoe around the abusive crowd, the abusive, narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopathic crowd, virtual signaling mother effers out there. We are not allowed to be creative anymore. Even the idea of Bitcoin and the internet, it's released to the public as the wild, wild west. So innovators will make it and design it and build it creatively. All around the world, America, whatever happens here starts happening around the world. But South Korea, I'm just big up and numb because of I'm a fan of their work, and I did this big deep dive on the game and different symbolism of it, which we can go over as well.
South Korea is interesting too because they set the example for the new generation of people that were always online. Because even in the 90s, when most people in the US were maybe using hell, was it like Prodigy and AOL and Net Zero and a whole bunch of other like sort of dial-up modem technology, South Korea already had what you would equate to as like high-speed internet. And they I remember that the StarCraft competitive game was huge in South Korea. They had esports in the 90s. They had esports that people would show up and root for, you know, their favorite like esports athlete, and making them celebrities way like 1 or 2 decades before America caught on to any of that. So they've always sort of been way ahead of us, not in terms of technology as a whole, like not technocracy wise, but mainly in how their society adapted and made being online a ubiquitous aspect. And it's also really crazy to see that they are, you know, directly connected to North Korea, which is almost the exact opposite of that. And to have the juxtaposition of a group of people that are otherwise closely related to each other. I mean, they're the identical peoples. It's just that politics has completely changed the landscape and how their daily lives operate. And there's
Yeah.
really nowhere else on the planet that you can point to this particular dynamic
Well,
of these countries that have evolved like that.
I would say the Middle East, like the Israelis and the Palestinians, they're like cousins. It's like the
Right,
same
but the
thing.
Israelis didn't grow up with esports and being chronically online since the 90s the same way that South Korea did.
I see what you're saying. And like, this is a Sampaku eye, everybody. Y'all know that I'd be breaking down the symbolism of the Sampaku, which is the three whites, which is a Japanese saying. As you can see, the three whites at the top means psycho. And this is the psycho lady, but that's a cool little catch right there. But a bee, maybe there's some bee symbolism in there. I can't wait for this movie because it goes into, soccer moms love the movie The Purge. Soccer dads love watching football. I like watching the Squid Games. It's a cathartic experience. And I don't think I'm alone. Most of the world watches it, so I am part of the crowd when it
Well,
comes to
it's a series, right? This series reminded me a lot of the Cube movie series, or maybe it was Hypercube. I don't know if you've seen any of these, but where it's people get trapped in this uh
bro. Yeah,
huge
that's
cube, and
freaking
each
crazy.
room is like a different game or a different riddle they got to
Yeah,
figure the way out from. It's almost the premise of Saw, but you remove having an actual villain, or knowing that you're in a horror movie. Every single room that you're always wondering, is this part of like an alien experiment? Is this AI? Is there someone even at the helm? Maybe this is just the new world. And I think the Squid Games is a huge like evolution building on top of that same premise.
yeah, and it just everyone can relate to it because it's about financial ruin and gambling is absolutely awful. There's a lot of people that promote gambling, especially in the truther space. Um, well, they're evil. Gambling is straight evil. Not totally evil, like if you're playing poker game with your friends. I'm just from Las Vegas, and I've seen it ruin. It's addiction as well, and so they're opening up the casinos right now, the 24-hour casinos with crypto. So the whole story is connected with the South Korea, what's going on in South Korea, um, PlayStation symbolically. And before I move on to other topics, also with South Korea and their filmmaking, and we just crashed through 1,000 people. Please smash that like button, please and thank you, and go to the Illuminati comic. We only got about 10 more minutes for y'all to access the secrets. Let's see if I'm good at time.
And it'll just
18
be
minutes.
down for 20 minutes or so. So if
Oh,
you
okay.
if you do go to it and it's down, then you can just wait 15, 20 minutes and it'll be back up again.
Oh, okay. And so like Train to Busan, great film, all these great films, South Korea. But something I've noticed in all of the films is there's a pattern recognition where the kids are actually going against the elders, which is a big no-no in all cultures except for America. This is why we have the demise of America, where you'll see little shithead kids, especially online, talking down to their elders. Right?
I
This is
blame public education like 90% of that.
big time. So, like, I don't know. It's in the Torah to it's in the scriptures probably as well. I'm not sure what
Yeah,
the
respect your elders.
yeah, respect your
See,
elders, right?
but kids in this country, they go to public school, and even if it's not directly at first, over time, by the time you're in high school, the teachers are just openly mocking what your parents know, because it's a way to get cool with the kids. If they don't respect you, you start tearing down their parents and talk about how stupid they are, and that, oh, they still believe what we taught back in, the 70s or the 80s or the 90s, and things have changed since then. Your parents don't know anything. In fact, here's this new way to do math. Here's this new way to read logic. Here's all these different things that are counter to how your parents learned it. So if you go home and try to get them to help with your homework or try to get their opinion on something, they're wrong every time, because the facts have kind of changed out from under them. And I think that this is by design, so that when the kids go into these state mandated sort of education camps, and it is state mandated, because if you don't send your kid to one of these and you don't have an alternative, you go to jail or you get fined or you get in some sort of legal trouble. So under duress, under the threat of violence by the state, you have to send your kids to these schools. And in those schools, they basically tell all these kids about how all of their other authoritarian figures don't know what they're talking about. Like, we are the only source for truth. And they literally are, because they're the ones that write the test. You got to pass their test in order to get out of their school. And by the time you're out, every generation, again by design, might know how to add 2 and 2. They might know all the same numbers and multiplication facts, but the way they got there and the way to think about them is completely different each generation, and it separates. It sets them apart. It sets kids against their parents and parents against their grandparents, because they all are instilled with this idea that, you are smarter than your parents. You are smarter than the authority figures in your life. And yeah, it maybe is kind of like a cool and a countercultural way when you're an edgelord teenager, but it's not a way to build a sustainable society where you can pass on generational knowledge.
Absolutely. And they use the sex education to really, what kind of energy will make you question your parents. And it's the number one biological motivation for all biological life, pretty much. And so they use that to get against your parents. So there's a lot of books written about it. It's part of my Wicked Smart for Dummy series, which I'm thinking of actually releasing volume 1 of Wicked Smart for Dummies, which is only accessible over on the Patreon right now. Got 3 episodes. Episode 2 goes into exactly what you're talking about, where they introduce sex education, because that's the only thing that's going to make you. It's the only thing that's going to make me question my elders. Like if when I was a kid, I broke out of the house so I could go meet up with my girlfriend when I was like, 14 or whatever, like that is like the number one thing to make you be like, F you, mom and dad. And everybody will agree to that.
There's so many other examples too. One of the more boring, but I guess direct examples would be like Common Core, where now if you're learning specifically math, Common Core math, if your parents didn't know Common Core math and you're being forced to do it, like them showing you how to, carry the one, it doesn't cut it anymore. So you can get the right answer, but if you don't do it in the way that the state mandates that you do it now, you still get it wrong, which is such a weird like mind meld that you're like, okay, here's how I got 9 + 9 = 18, just because it is. And if you don't show the work to arrive there the way that you're told to arrive there, then the answer doesn't count. And this is just a really complicated way of undermining the authority of the parents and their ability to help. Other versions too are, for example, like Christopher Columbus, right? Some kids go to school. If you went to the school in the 70s, 80s, maybe up until the late 90s, he was just this guy that discovered America. And now, flash forward to 2024, he's this evil colonizer. He's the one that brought on the death of all the. And whether or not, you have an opinion or a bias on which one of those is true or accurate, the real difference is that an entire generation was taught one thing, and then the following generation was taught the exact opposite thing. So now there's arguments over the dinner table about whether or not Christopher Columbus was a good guy, which is it's such a crazy thing to even have as a debate that anyone would be invested in. It's a historical fact at this point. I don't even know what Christopher Columbus needs anyone to defend him or attack him for.
Christopher Columbus is that
dude's long gone, right?
Christopher Columbus is the CC. He was a 33.
So and I know I'm familiar with a lot of the Christopher Columbus sort of conspiracy theories that that he wasn't actually from Portugal, that he represented this whole other order. Also that maybe Christopher Columbus was propped up by Italian Americans, and that once they stopped having as much political influence, that's what contributed to his sort of downfall. But again, what the context here being education and the intentional separation of generations from each other through public education system.
And these public education systems teach these kids to want to tear down structures, to tear down statues, and tear down history and
build what? Yeah, what
building.
Learning how to build in public education. Yeah. You will learn how to destroy everything around you, how to criticize and nitpick everything around you, history, everything. But very few, in fact, most schools are removing any sort of like shop or maybe art, but even now, like the art profession and art teachers are likely going to be the ones that are recruiting the kids into Antifa. So
yeah, for sure, 100%. And so in the South Korean films, something that's pattern recognition is the children are questioning the elders, which is totally new in those like traditions of those communities. That's just like like it's in the films where the old stupid parents turn everyone into zombies. So we need to question. They don't have our best interest. So that's just a pattern I've seen.
Have you ever seen the movie City of Ember?
Oh, damn. What is it? Because we're in the Ember Rituals,
Yeah,
December.
well, City of Ember. It's kind of a cheesy movie, but I'm absolutely obsessed with the plot of it. It's one of my favorite motifs. It's kind of Plato's Cave in a way, where these two kids live in this city that's all underground, and they just kind of get it in their head one day, like, what if there's an above ground? Like, what if there's actually something outside of this little like bubble of a city that's underground? And no one believes them, or they basically tell them not to even go and look. Like, there's no point in looking. It's essentially Plato's Cave.
Yeah,
It's I
that's
really
cool.
like this kind of storyline. It's very similar to was it Snowpiercer, where Snowpiercer, the train has to keep moving, because if it stops moving, everyone will freeze to death, and we live in this.
And that's a
This,
South Korean film,
what is?
Snowpiercer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's by the same guy who did Parasite, a South Korean director. All the good Illuminati type movies, dystopic movies, is by the South Koreans. They do the best
So
job.
even Snowpiercer is also this Plato's Cave. But yeah, if you haven't seen City of Ember, it's kind of like a Harry Potter meets Snowpiercer. Like way less violence and like adult themes, but the actual motif itself is really, really good one.
So like Snowpiercer, there's this revolution, this uprising of the people. Here's Vanity Fair. It's this revolution, and then it turns out that the elites are the ones who kicked off the revolution so they could depopulate the train.
And they were eating people on that train.
They were eating the bugs. They's eating the bugs.
Well, they were told, some of them were told that they were eating bugs, but a lot of them were eating people.
I have to watch it again. I like Parasite a lot. That was one of my favorite films. And there was also like some sort of like death ritual with one of the guys. And also the notate that Eminem's mother passed away at 69, which is part of the 6996. Queen Elizabeth. Eminem's connected to the royals, the crown. The jelly roll was the moon. It goes into the moon rituals that I've been talking about. Cancer is the 6-9 symbol. It's the top of the royal arch. Eminem, his mother also said that his father was Samuel Mathers, who created the Order of the Golden Dawn. A lot of occult connections to Eminem, which is also like MM33, but yeah, whatever. Like that's, I want to bring some new information to the table. That the jelly roll is just hanging out with Prince Charles, massaging his neck, tattooing his neck, hanging out with Kid Rock, who is the bodyguard for Bohemian Grove. Pretty much I was right on point with the rise of Jelly Roll and pointing out this independent juggalo connection of the mainstream entering the 3-6 Mafia world. There's a 3-6 Mafia connection to all these rituals on the world stage.
Was Jelly Roll ICP affiliate?
Oh, Jelly Roll, big juggalo. Yeah, him and his wife, they were at the juggalo shows with me and my sister. Like they, you know what I mean? Like the juggalo world is really small, smaller than the Jewish world that I'm in. It's even like smaller, I think. And let me see how many juggalos there are. Hold up a second. But he got famous through 3-6 Mafia with Lil White when he was rapping. And the 3-6 Mafia connection to the rituals on the world stage is highly there, with Gangsta Boo passing away. She had a 6-9 album as well. But let me, how many juggalos are there? I don't know. How many juggalos are there? Also, I want to. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, in the comments, Vivian P brought up a really good point too, that kids now can't read or write in cursive anymore. So there's a actual amount of books and original writings that are in English, but that there's a whole new generation of people that won't even be able to read it. Like they'll have to use AI just to read something that's written in cursive.
Well, we got a real juggalo up in the building. You know, a real juggalo recognize another real juggalo.
Is it the
Because
way that they capitalize the letters in the name? I think that's one of the giveaways, no?
nope. And
No?
Crazy Colette, well, no, it's the way they spelled what. The
Okay.
juggalo, yeah, that's a
I
real
don't know the
juggalo.
rules, man. I don't know the secret handshakes of the juggalos.
Yeah. Well, there's only 1 million self proclaimed juggalos. There might be some crypto juggalos out there, you know, because of the backlash of the hatred of the
When
juggalo
it's a
nation.
gang, right? Classified as a gang by the FBI.
Or, you know, well, under Obama, yes, Obama, but I guess cash is coming in. Do you know anything about this?
Yeah, he's gonna be the new head of the FBI according to Trump, right? And
I,
he's
I
hip with the kids. I don't, but see, I guess I'm such a
People love
skeptic.
the FBI now. That was
Well,
the whole
yeah, dude,
move.
that's gonna be part of it. But I'm such a cynic that I feel that anything bad with the FBI, it's gonna stay that way. Like that's baked into its DNA. And the only thing you can do is try and slow down how much it continues to be corrupt. But I don't, it almost feels like there's no such thing as going backwards. There's only a dismantling, but every single person that's ever tried to dismantle alphabet agencies ends up, you know, missing a large portion of their head.
Yeah, it's the five eyes. It's the way the world operates. It's all just it's like it's sort of socialist in a way, how socialists and communists live in this utopia. Like, oh, it's gonna be amazing once we do this. But it kind of just feels like the same thing. It's just a utopia. Uh but I don't know
It's
anything about this guy.
idealism as your main political platform. Like it's okay to have idealism about certain things and think about things in terms of like platonic solids. Like as in, you know, what does a perfect sphere look like? What does a perfect something look like? But never in life do we ever see the actual perfect version of something. So you got to be able to recognize something that's close enough to be on its way to being something that would look perfect, but not holding out for the actual perfection. And a lot of the, I guess, in my biased, pro capitalist viewpoint, but communism and socialism are very idealistic. They make a lot of sense on paper. And the main reason that they
On
usually don't
paper.
work is they do not take into account the human factor. They don't take into account that no matter how good the system is, you're going to have an actor that shows up and think, how can I work outside the system? How can I manipulate this system to benefit me even more than it would benefit someone else? And as long as you got that human element persistent, you need a system that bakes in those people to exist and not just throws them in jail, but almost incentivizes the rest of society to work around that dynamic.
Also, like, this was founded, the CIA, by the Skull and Bones. This is the main.
That's that Trump Punisher logo.
Well, what I was thinking. I was like, yo, Skull and Bones runs the CIA. I'm sure this is the FBI. Um, and then right there's a skull, but there's no bones.
Yeah,
But
that's the
kind of
Punisher logo with the Trump haircut on top of it.
fight with cash. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know anything. I got to look into it. But this Squid Game stuff, I don't know if you did the deep dive, but there was the game that they played with the red and blue, where there's this ghost, kind of like how Christopher Columbus saw UFOs. There's this ghost who shows up when you're taking a poo poo, and he offers you. This is for real though,
What, it
like
offers you blue toilet paper?
blue or red, and this might be where the red and blue pill, like how people take the red pill and the blue
I've
pill.
never heard this before.
I know not a lot of people know this, but this is absolutely true. This is an actual myth I believe it goes back to Japan, kind of like where the Sanpaku eyes is. I thought that was
How old is
super.
toilet paper? Toilet paper can't be that old.
Toilet paper, yeah, they were what, like using waterfalls and stuff back in the day.
Or your hand.
Like a monkey.
I mean, that's still
Monkey
kind of happened. Yeah, toilet paper was invented in 1860, but it wasn't widely available until about the 1920s.
Bro, that's nuts. Yeah, the Japanese were really clean and the Europeans were really dirty, and it wasn't until they got introduced to the Japanese that they started showering. That's what I've read in some history books, but history books, they be lying all the time. Oh, but yeah, this is one of the breakdowns that I did. And then I said that we're going to go into a world Squid Game, Hunger Game kind of thing. Let me see right here. This is a while ago. Look how handsome I used to be. Oh, this was one of my first sponsors when I had a sponsor. Look how handsome. Look how skinny. This is back, and I feel like Ia Carroll like probably just saw this handsome like donut. I had the haircut, and he just copied my stuff, and now he calls no, bro. Because I mean, I was getting millions of views back then, bro. I was just being a nutty nutcase. I didn't know I was going to be doing this like with you, paranoid, with the world. You know what I mean? This was not on my agenda. That's why God has a bigger plan than we do. Man plans, God laughs. You know what I mean? Now we going into good donut. Hold up.
What color is good donut?
We'll go green. Hold up.
I can already see the difference. I can already see the difference of good donut.
Hi, everybody. I like to start off today with a joke. That's my Joel Osteen. Hello. We're going to start today with a joke.
That's probably the worst way to open up an actual joke. To announce it like it just entered the room.
I used to listen to Joel Osteen back in 2012.
I used to listen to Peter Popoff.
Peter Popoff?
Do you know Peter Popoff? Popoff Industries?
No.
He was the one that sold Miracle Water, and that you would order this Miracle Water from him, and people would sprinkle it on their mailbox, and they would claim that checks would just show up. They would just, a check for $30,000 would just show up in your mailbox because you put some of his holy water on the mailbox. I was absolutely fascinated by this premise of a direct intersection between capitalism and Christianity. And I mean, he was a scam artist, and he had been proven as a scam artist many times over, but he still kept coming back and kept doing the televangelist stuff. I don't know. He was one of my favorite things to watch back when, infomercials would take over the airwaves between the hours of, like, I don't know what it was, like 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. or something.
Bro, I saw the dopest infomercial on this shark vacuum. I gotta pull it up because
I know exactly what you're talking. I think I might have gotten sucked into getting one of those, and it didn't clean anything, bro.
Bro, I'm not gonna buy one, but
I tried on all the things. It didn't clean any of the things that I wanted it to clean.
Bro, it was the dopest infomercial. I was out there in Utah watching it because I didn't like have my TV where I have the Amazon Prime where I could just play My Office or South Park. So I was watching TV. It had commercials. I fell asleep. I woke up and I got to see if it was so dope. It inspired me, bro. So we're gonna do our own Illuminati comic infomercial 24-hour stream on the last day is going to be incredible.
It's gonna be something.
Yeah, let's check. Let's see how the Illuminati comic doing. Oh, see now, I don't know who have accessed the secrets, but if you go
we're
to
down.
yeah, Illuminati comic Kickstarter is down right now. That's why it's so important to unlock these secrets. So, like going to the website once it reopens and grabbing it. This is limited edition worldwide. This is dropping worldwide. Illuminati comic dropping worldwide. And it's like memorabilia, kind of like the CFR kind of thing that you were posting, how we were showing these old Illuminati comics. This isn't mass produced. This is just whoever orders it gets it. You know what I mean? Like it is rare. So like it could be worth a lot of money in the future. I think it will be. I think it will be because it is so good. So make sure to get it. You know what I mean? Just like crypto. You want to get the crypto early. You don't want to get it when the Illuminati comic's selling for $300. But I'm also going to do a crypto stream on my Patreon. So make sure to go subscribe to my Patreon as well. Those links are down below. I was hanging out with Christopher Green, so I interviewed him a little bit. We were having fun talking. I'm going to be posting that next. And I'll go over the cryptos I'm eyeballing and whatnot over on my Patreon. So if you're interested in that, go do that. And I think I'm going to do an end of the year meetup over on the Patreon too. So make sure to go subscribe there and go Paranoid American. Let them know where to also go to support you.
ParanoidAmerican.com is the best place because I'm constantly getting booted off of all the different social networks. So this is the one place that I'll always be at until the internet straight up comes after me. I got a whole bunch of different comics and toys and stickers and apparel and stuff. I mean, I really am trying to be the best all-encompassing conspiracy theory related entertainment. So we got like playset, we got fake moon landing play sets and like wet market play sets and all sorts. I've got so many things I don't even want to say because they're on YouTube, but I got things that YouTube won't even let me say. But I've made toys out of them and comic books out of them. This is another huge popular series. The other big one too that I'm hoping to keep growing is conspiracy cards. I've been running this idea around in my head for the last 10 years. And just earlier this year, I released the first set of conspiracy cards. And if you don't know what those are, you can go to conspiracycards.com. And it's got like Alex Jones and William Cooper. It's got Ricky Ross. It's got Dr. Ewan Cameron of MK Ultra fame, Dr. Jolly West. I don't know any other trading card series that's got Jolly West in them, along with like 30 or 40 other characters. And the Illuminati comic is going to be the next big release of these cards. It's going to have anyone that gets the trading card combo is going to get a bunch of rare cards from this set. They aren't even in any of the packs yet. We got all kinds of really cool additions on this. So this is one of my, Bill Hicks. I've got an Alex Jones card in there. This is Freeway Ricky Ross. This is the real Rick Ross, not the rapper Rick Ross. This is the one that was involved in Iran-Contra. It was cooking up crack for the CIA, Timothy McVeigh. All of these are sort of, found fundamental characters in conspiracy theory lore, especially me growing up in 80s and 90s. So they're paired with basically trading card designs from the 80s and 90s. Upper Deck, Donruss, Tops, all Fleer, all of these cards that I remember growing up. Now it's got people that I actually care about, since Daryl Strawberry's not playing anymore.
Yeah, you know, your boy got all the collector editions. I got that Alex Jones conspiracy card. I
love these so much. Cause we were talking to Catalyst Jones at White Rabbit earlier today. And
shout out White Rabbit.
And one of the things that we all share in common, me and you too in particular, is that the things that we make are the things that we wanted to exist out in the world. Like we went out looking for a video on something, or I wish there was this conspiracy card thing, and you don't find it, and then you become the catalyst to make that thing available. So now the next person behind you, even if it's 10 years later, the next person that goes looking for this thing, it does exist, and it was done right, and it was done with care. So I don't know. It's a way that I think the two of us relate really well.
Yeah, and that's what I was also talking about. How I create things that I'm passionate about. Like, what kind of video am I going to make? I always go with what's exciting me, even if it's not popular. That's what I go for. But usually it is. Like right now, what's exciting me is looking into the different cryptos right now. I just don't know if my audience is even interested in that. So I don't really talk about it much. But on my newsletter for the last 4 or 5 years, anyone who signed up to my newsletter on my website, I sent them a private presentation on cryptocurrency and which ones to get, what it is, and I explained it to everybody.
Well, you've got the only video talking to Jordan Maxwell about Ripple. How long ago? How many years ago? 5 years ago?
Shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's nuts, dude. That's absolutely great. The only person I think that's ever even brought it up to him, but also that you were right on the money, because when you were telling him about Ripple, it was in the context of his maritime law, and that you were linking this is the only crypto that is entirely focused on the concept of maritime law, even if in just a symbolic way. And you were like, yeah, you got to get this, but you didn't mention it. At the time, it was only 19 cents. So not only was it unique in that Jordan Maxwell's not even with us anymore, so this might have been the only time in his entire life that he had even heard about Ripple. I don't know. I think it's just such an interesting snapshot in time.
Yeah, I had to flex on people a little bit because there's a big movement right now run by the federal agents to discredit all my information just because I'm Jewish. So and also I stepped on some toes of some people and I talk shit on the internet. But I apologize and I deleted those. So, but it did activate some federal agents where they have been attacking a lot of my work. It is what it is. So I try to put out a little bit of a flex. It's what Donald Trump promotes in his books, that nobody's gonna be like, yo, you the best. And I don't even want to do that. Like, I'm not like that guy.
That's
I'm
why
a behind the scenes guy, bro. I don't even
why
like
rappers like them so much, bro. Is because that's such a rapper mentality too.
Bro, I'm behind the scenes. Like, I film, edit, like being on camera, being in the public light. I didn't know I was going to like do that. I'd rather be editing hidden, you know what I mean? Doing that. But Donald Trump, he says that you got to flex your successes. And this is his business books before he was president. Like, this is all known to anybody who started a business, even rappers who don't like him today. They all read his books. And that's not my personality type. So I got to force myself to like shout me out, like how we beat Charlemagne the God. We beat the mainstream media on the Illuminati comic.
It's not even about Charlemagne. It's about the whole system behind him. The fact that he's able to get mainstream coverage, talking about it on TV shows in prime time, getting magazine articles, getting promoted by all of the biggest name, interviewing Biden. You know what I mean? Like having the most access you could possibly imagine in 2024. Like he's got every connection in the world, and somehow me and you, two skitstos that are shadow banned, that aren't allowed to advertise on Facebook, that really have no reach outside hardcore fans, and we blew that project completely out of the water. It makes me so optimistic for the next few projects that we got planned coming up. So we're just we're dangerous now, bro. Like we're big enough that we can actually become a real threat to the mainstream narrative, because there's going to be more of our Illuminati comic than there is going to be of these mainstream Illuminati comics.
And that's what I like, is inspiring people, because the independent artist inspired me to be like, you know what, I'm going to go do it. Trauma, right? Toxic Avenger. I was like, you know what, it's possible. I'm going to go out there and do it. Even Jelly Roll is inspiring so many people. This is a guy and his wife, they're just hanging out at the concerts and seeing them rise to power. But who inspired Jelly Roll to keep on pushing was Lil Dicky. I actually edited a Jelly Roll interview, and it says donut, and then it goes into Jelly Roll, because he was part of the Juggalo thing, and he was so funny. He's just like, Lil Dicky blowing up right now. He was just he's the most white trash person I've ever met. We were just kicking with him, and then like a month later, he just, you know, so like hopefully I'm an inspiration, and I think I am, because I have so many paintings of people that paint stuff like this. These are all gifts. Like right there, that's a gift. Somebody drew a Illuminati donut back there. Another one, Illuminati donut. People have drawn all these paintings because they were inspired, and that makes me so happy. And then I get like these hit pieces put on me where they're like, donuts controlled opposition, and they post but the thing is they post it, and they post artwork that a fan drew for me. So when I look at it, I'm just like, yo, a fan didn't draw that guy anything, so he ain't inspiring anybody. The dude I'm talking about steals my work too and puts it on there. And don't worry, I'm gonna have my Jewish lawyers go after his ass. Whatever the word is,
they'll show up with their hats, and he'll be like, "Uh-oh."
I'm gonna say not the tiny hats to they go get his
the kosher mafia is what I've heard them called.
The kosher nostra.
The kosher nostra.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I kid, I joke. But that's what I hope I inspire people, and I know I do inspire people. And Pukey Pete, he made this right here, and he does all the VHS box covers. So you're supporting independent artists. You're supporting Pukey Pete. He inspires me. His artwork, I see it, and it makes me want to like go crazy and create. You know what I mean? So hopefully I have that effect on people as well, just to keep on pushing, you know, hope and all that, you know what I'm saying? Especially with sobriety too. Hopefully just me showing up sober, hopefully that inspires one person, because if one person gets sober, maybe that has a problem, that's going to change hundreds of people's lives. Think about this. Like everyone's like, oh, we got to go after everyone's picking different groups. What we need to go after is we got to get motherfuckers sober, because that's the big thing in my opinion. Because one person changing their life, that's why it goes back to the individual. Any of this we crap is all bullshit. Like it's the crowd. It's not we. It's I. It's me. It's self-responsibility. If one person changes their life, like I'm just talking about addiction, people that are like suffering with that. If they change their life, they get sober and they change their life. It doesn't just change their life. It affects everybody. It affects their family. It affects their wife. It affects their kids. It affects their employers. We're talking a massive amount of people of the and when I talk about recovery, it doesn't even mean about sober. It just, that's my story. So I like to talk about that just because that's me. But it could be anything. It could be anything. Somebody's like, you know what? I'm just being negative watching the tube all the time, YouTube all the time. Or like, think about all the people that got sucked into all these hateful psyops where everyone's just like, I hate you. I hate you. When they could have been out there like building, you know what I mean?
Well, because hate and love are what is like the same emotion, just expressed in different ways. But hate doesn't mean that you have to be vulnerable. In fact, you can be hateful and appear to not be vulnerable. Like you can make it seem that your hate comes from this place of power and of like resolve, but really uh the same exact kind of emotion, because hate and love are not opposites. They both kind of operate in the same vicinity, right? So I think that hate is such an easy default to come up with, because you never got to open up about hate. And also, hating is very much a critical, it's a destructive sort of force. Like, usually things aren't built out of hate unless it's for straight warfare. But that's kind of goes into that same critical theory. Like, critical theory through public education breeds just a hatred of everything around you, as if that's some sort of cathartic response. And there's really no profit in anything outside of that. It's such a quick shortcut. It's like a game genie for attention. If you can get someone to hate something, even like you see this all the time too, that your biggest haters sometimes are more vocal. They will watch more of your content,
It's the
they'll
Howard
digest
Stern
more of
effect.
it than the biggest fans. And I say it in all seriousness, that your biggest haters are your biggest fans. They just don't know how to express themselves. And what you're reading usually that comes out as hate is just a frustration with not being able to communicate effectively.
It's the Howard Stern effect. The phenomenon where
You know who is known as the Howard Stern of the hip hop world?
uh the Howard Stern of the hip hop world.
That's that's Charlemagne.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what he's
big
known
time.
as.
Yeah, he definitely is. Yeah, and he does the radio. Yeah, a Howard Stern effect is a phenomenon caused where those who hate someone actually pay more attention to you than the fans do, which is absolutely true. So all the people that don't like uh, me occupying their minds, they actually love me.
Well, yeah, it's a weird kind of love, but it's almost the same reaction as the kid that pushes down the love interest on the playground, because again, they don't
It's like,
have any
oh,
other
sorry.
way to communicate this very complex emotion that they're going through. So the easiest way to get it out is kinetically. It's just, let's convert this emotional frustration into a kinetic energy, and then bam, it's out of me. But it's not a scalable solution.
It's so true, bro. And it's also true with the people that are like super like anti uh the same sex attracted people. Like they're super like hate it and they're so angry about it. It's usually because they love that stuff.
I can't get it out of my mind. I hate it so much.
It's just like in that movie there American Beauty. Or maybe it wasn't American Beauty. Maybe it was the
With
Ozark.
Kevin Spacey?
Have you seen Ozarks where the guy like and the two fisher guy they're fishing and they kiss and he gets mad at him, but then he like likes it though. It's
Oh,
weird.
Brokeback Mountain?
I've never seen that movie. I know it was very popular. Everyone watched it and loved it. I
Yeah,
never
it was
watched.
Donnie Darko and the Joker, right?
Oh really? I don't even know who was in it. I never got into the mainstream like stuff really. I've always been independent, you know what I mean? Especially around that time. What it was like 2012 or something. Let me see. Let's do some deep research on Brokeback Mountain. Brokeback Mountain. That's hilarious. Is it like a joke? Like they breaking his back because he's like getting it from the back? Like is that why it's called Brokeback Mountain? 2005. 2005 Brokeback. He broke his back. He was he
It
broke
had to be. The name had to be a play on it. I don't know.
Brokeback Mountain. I bet you there was some there was some there was probably a lot of symbolism in there. That's hilarious.
We
Let's
had
see
to
if,
do an occult decode of Brokeback Mountain.
bro. It looks like we must have got a new Illuminati Yacht Club member because Kickstarter's back up. Everybody, click that link below. We're almost past the 36,000 mark. Burn, burn, burn. That's the goal for tonight. Paranoid, how are you feeling, my friend? Do you want to?
I'm feeling extra good because yeah, we just had Isaiah Gonzalez signed up for the Illuminati Street Team.
Oh,
And if you
street
don't know
team.
what the Illuminati Street Team is, These are our soldiers. These are the kosher nostra. That when you get your Illuminati Street Team pack, which is a unique one on there, this one doesn't come with all the other tiers. We're gonna send you a whole stack of these Illuminati comics to go and place around your city, your town, your school. You can resell them if you want. You can do anything you want with them. Really, we just want to have as many of these out in the world as humanly possible. So the Illuminati Street Team are the ones that are going to really make it possible to have more normies picking up on these. So I mean, we were having some great ideas. A lot of people were suggesting waiting areas, giving them away as tips. If you go out and you're going to drop a fat tip, throw in one of these Illuminati comics on top of that. You can set up a little online store if you want. Again, you can do anything you want with these comics. Just get them out there. It would be super dope if you could get these placed in comic shops. I mean, maybe we'll put together a little video because I've done the cold call, like just walking up into comic shops and just talking to the owner and schmoozing my way into getting comics placed in the books. And usually the way it works is that you will give them a price that when they sell it, they keep a certain amount, you keep a certain amount. Usually it's between 30 and 50%. So anyway, we'll do a whole little guide on here's how to go and pimp these Illuminati comics out in the wild. Sort of like an entry video. I think that might be super dope.
Absolutely. This is that Illuminati Street Team. And not only do you get 30 comics, you probably get more of them.
We'll probably give you a whole lot more of those. Yeah, since this has been doing really well.
You could slang them. You can make your money back, right? You sell these you make your money back. So it's like paying for itself. You also get to save the best value, 50% saving percentage wise. So it's a great thing to upgrade to this. If you don't upgrade to the Yacht Club membership, you get a t-shirt. We're going to get some sick Pukey Pete t-shirts made for the Street Team. You get the VHS box and it gets packed full of goodies. It's absolutely.
I went out today putting these pamphlets out, and I put some in Burlington Coat Factory. I put some out at Aldi.
In the coats?
I put some out in Macy's. Well, in like the changing room, the waiting areas, the place there's like high traffic. I put some in the carts in the Aldi. Like not the Illuminati comic because it doesn't exist yet, but I got the MK Ultra pamphlet. I've got the Homunculus owner's manual that I did with Juan. And I just like whenever I go somewhere to just leave a few, just sprinkle them around in public, hoping that someone just walks by and says, "Did that just say MK Ultra? I think that sounds familiar, but I'm not sure what that is." And they pick it up and they start reading it, and holy hell, their mind gets blown because immediately starts talking to them about psychic driving and presidential assassinations and CIA infiltration of the tech sector. So this is kind of what the Illuminati comic is supposed to do too, is that someone will just walk across it out in the wild and say, "Does that book say are you being mind controlled by the Illuminati? What does that mean?" And then all of a sudden they're learning about 18th century philosophical societies.
Got another backer. It looks like someone else joined the Yacht Club, maybe. You gotta
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We got Alex Lopez got the trading card combo. Thank you.
Shout out to Alex Lopez.
Enrique X just did a huge upgrade. They went from the color combo to the VHS box combo.
Oh, Enrique upgraded the secrets. Nice. Thank you so much. If you have already backed and you want to upgrade, if you're thinking, you know what, now's the time for me to get this VIP membership of the Illuminati Yacht Club tier, get that beach towel, get the membership coin, limited edition. I mean, you're part of a secret society pretty much, like the OTS, which came in the last Illuminati box. I mean, you get access to the secrets, so think about it. Don't think too much about it. Just think about it.
Also, I don't know if you want to do this, but I just need to mention that when Isaiah signed up for that Street Team, he also did a request for Dead Body Man.
Oh, I got it. You got it, bro. Here we go. You got it. Whoop, whoop. Dead bodies all over the street. 55, 65 bodies at least. My head with the
till the break of dawn. I'm always finding bodies when I'm low in the lawn. Drag them in the house. throw 'em in the oven. Wicked clown loving, that dead body rubbing. Tastes like chicken finger licking,
Finger licking, deep
I
fried.
ate a dead
Dead
body,
but don't tell I lied. I just ate my first dead body last week.
Still got
Still
the
got the fingernail cuts in my teeth.
Before you
Before you start yelling and cursing my name, remember something wrong with my...
insane. Second I was born, doctor threw me against the wall. Kicked open the doors and he whipped me down the hall. I'm sliding and I'm bouncing off shit like a hockey puck. And my mother's like, what the fuck? He said I was born of an alien race. Born with a hatchet and a juggalo face. But I'm not a Martian, you wouldn't understand. I'm just a dead body man. We got bodies.
That was created by this man down here, Paranoid American.
I just summoned it from the demons in the AI world. That's all I did.
That's the old school Insane Clown Posse song.
That's that's a Motown cover of Insane Clown Posse.
And it's like a really scary song. So it was perfect, like masculine, feminine. Dead body all over the street. 55.
Maybe we put that one on the Do-Fi album. Maybe that could be like a secret track.
And that's another thing, is that we haven't even unlocked all the secrets yet. Like, we still got a long way to go to unlocking more secrets. This Do-Fi stretch goal, as you can see, we uncover right when we like bam, we just hitting goals after goals after goals. We crushed through 33,000, crushed that goal. The next one is the 47,000, a Do-Fi album, a donut Do-Fi album. Oh my goodness. Like, that's incredible. So make sure you go support the IlluminatiComic.com. Bam. Yeah.
Burr, burr, burr. We need to get the sound effects set up still.
I try to bring in like that passion with that song.
It's a very passionate song.
I'm very passionate about it.
You got no idea how many versions of that song that I heard in so many different like Motown styles. But yeah, that one was the best out of all of them.
Do you guys think the comic will increase Illumination membership? Paranoid? I'll let you answer that one.
I don't know. I mean, the Bavarian Illuminati doesn't really exist anymore, and I think we lay out a lot of reasons why you wouldn't want to join, namely that you're just signing up for voluntary blackmail. So I would say that this would increase membership as much as like any of the Scientology exposés increased Scientology membership, or like the Keith Raniere documentaries increased Nexium signups. I think if anything, it would make this more of a reasonable human look at the Bavarian Illuminati. It removes all of the mysticism and the mystery and the legend and the lore, and we show exactly where those legends came from, who propped them up, who made it seem like this grand boogeyman that was across the world, and who was actually behind it. Like, one of the best examples is how we break down meticulously about how this guy Philo, Baron von Kinetic, that he was the real one that was creating the Bavarian Illuminati. He was the one that was writing all the rituals. Yeah, this is Philo's reply. Probably one of the absolute best books on the Bavarian Illuminati, because it's the only one that is written to this outside critical reader that might be like, how come, why were you in this Bavarian Illuminati anyways? Well, he explains it. And my favorite part of that book is that he talks about how frustrated he was with his boss. This is just an underpaid, unappreciated worker going to work. And Adam Weishaupt, every time Kennedy would show up to the Illuminati, headquarters, and Adam Weishaupt's like, great news, I just signed up another 5,000 people, but they want these degrees and they're going to want to have like fancy little suits and hats, and I don't have any of that planned out. So you just get work. I'll keep selling the tchotchkes and you keep making the tchotchkes. And at a certain point, Philo gave up. He was like, look, I like doing this work, but you're unreasonable. You're just out there selling crap that you don't actually have. You're selling vaporware is what they would call it in like a gaming or like a software world. You're selling products that don't exist just to get more people signed up, just so that you're paying more money into this. And Philo was like, screw this, I'm out of here, I'm leaving. And I think that that whole dynamic, that Adam Weishaupt was selling the Illuminati as if it were something 100 times as big as it actually was, and that the real guy behind the scenes was just some underappreciated worker bee, and even he gave up on the Illuminati. So I mean, will that raise the memberships? I don't know. I think that if you're already at the level where you can join the Illuminati, you're probably in it and you just don't realize it. You're probably in it, in that real Illuminati members are manifesting blackmail on you, and they're turning it into their superiors. And if you're not doing that to others, then you just haven't been invited yet.
Yeah, and hopefully everybody smash that like button. It really gets us into the algorithm. And speaking of the Illuminatis, there's trending today, I'm Bach, like Bach. And we go over Bach, different Illuminati artists as well in this comic book. I thought that was interesting. And since we have Paranoid American on here, Disney Snow White is actually trending.
This is a travesty, man. And I don't even want to get into the whole like woke and what's her name, Rachel Ziegler or something, that like she hates America or whatever. I don't even care about any of that. What I care about
who's this?
is she's the lead. I think that's her name, the lead actress that's playing Snow White. That's right there.
So people are mad about this.
Yeah, there's people mad that she's not, white, because Snow White was literally a reference to
She looked white.
But Snow White was so pale that she literally looked like snow. Her skin was so white that you would mistake it for snow, and that and there's a lot of deep symbolism here, because her white skin was completely contrasted by her very jet black hair, and she had these very bright red lips, and all these different colors actually get really deep into Rosicrucianism. And like I'll give the basic premise. If you want to listen to a much longer breakdown of Snow White, you can check out the Occult Disney series. You can go to occultdisney.com, unless they've taken that down yet, but occultdisney.com, it'll bring you right to a playlist. But essentially, Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, Snow White represents human consciousness, and the Seven Dwarves, they represent earth elementals. The whole premise of this movie is that these earth elementals, they don't have consciousness. They don't have any sort of self-reflection, and their entire role is going into the dark and pulling out these gems from the dark and bringing them to humans and exchanging the gems of the elemental world with this human that then gives them intellect, gives them this brief touch of consciousness, where literally the gnomes or the dwarves, they go underground, they come back up, and they trade these gems to Snow White, and she teaches them how to cook, how to clean, how to dance, how to love, how to laugh. She gives them the human experience. It's a very even trade between these two things. This is a very deeply occult this is like an alchemical representation of a very old story. And the new Snow White, it flips all that on its head. There's no longer this same exchange, that like it takes all of the occult sort of symbolism out of it, and it just puts on this new kind of, girl power, I don't need no man sort of like approach to it, which I'm not against that particular line. That's what Disney does now. But what really hurts is that they took something that was absolutely dripping with occult information, and they just kind of brushed all that aside and said, how can we make something else that makes money off of this? And, who cares what the original content was really about? So I can go on about this more and more, but yeah, I've got like a 2-hour video breaking down just the original Snow White movie.
The aesthetics look very pleasing to me. I think it looks like a good film, actually, from just looking at the. Oh, look, there's Peanut. Rest in peace, Peanut. Just looking at as it just looks like Shrek, sort of. Looks like it looks good. Look with the images. But this is also connected to Bohemian Grove somehow.
Well, not Snow White in particular. There was another Disney movie specifically about Bohemian Grove called No Mobile.
No, the Jamie Hanshaw and you did a
Oh well,
podcast.
okay. So in the original Snow White movie, there is a scene when they show the banister, and the banister is made out of a whole bunch of wooden owls. The entire banister is all made of like each of the rows in it. Although that's the connection to Bohemian Grove that I've heard the most of.
I thought it was the sleeping ritual where Disney came up with this because of everyone snoring at the campgrounds at Bohemian Grove. So that's what they're all doing, is snoring.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt that. Although Walt Disney didn't seem to like Bohemian Grove, he ended up joining his own secret society that was counter to Bohemian Grove, called the Rancheros Visitadores, meaning the visiting ranchers. Because when he went to Bohemian Grove, he was expecting a truly like manly man outdoorsy experience. He thought he was going to go camping. And I don't know. Yeah, he showed up and it was Brokeback Mountain, and he was like, "Whoa!"
He got his back blown out.
Because honestly, the whole premise of Bohemian Grove was that they were supposed to treat it like it was this outdoor camp. But the second money got involved, people were building these huge I mean, what was the teddy bear picnic? We saw that there was one particular scene. It was kind of one of the more boring scenes, but it was so fascinating to me because they were arguing about how much money they had spent on creating this log cabin, and that it was a little bit too lavish. And then maybe do an outside observer that doesn't know what they're watching, if you ever find yourself watching Teddy Bear Picnic. But like, why are these rich people arguing about how fancy their log cabin is? It doesn't even look like fancy. Well, that's because that was one of the rules. The rule was supposed to be that you're supposed to be out there roughing it. But these elites don't really know what that means. Like, glamping to them is the same as camping. There's really no line between that. The exact same thing happened at Jekyll Island too.
Well, this is being released on a very occult day. Goes into what the occult like to do astrologically, and I think a huge ritual is actually going to be going down on this day. This is very connected to the 322 skull and bones, with the crossbones. It being 321, like 322. We got this spring equinox happening March 20th. I posted this over on X on Twitter. It was removed. Twitter removed it. Twitter's banned me a few times, actually. Now Elon opened up the floodgates. He removed 2 videos of mine. I said bank runs were coming 6 months prior to the bank runs actually happening. He removed that video. I had to delete it, or they were going to, I couldn't access my account under Elon's regime, I believe. And I tweeted this, that there's the big skull and bones ritual is going to happen on this date, March 20th, for the spring equinox, and they removed it. And it's happening at 2:01 a.m. This is a huge Illuminati number. I'd be going over the different Illuminati numbers. 201's huge. There's the 201 in the Squid Games. And also in the news, there's a 32 connection as well. Investigators uncover an orgy official who had sex with 32 different coworkers in Tennessee Veteran Hospital. The 32 goes into some symbolism. Each one has different, like you hear 33, and even color coding, like Russia and all this stuff going on with crypto and all the banks and all this. Jordan pointed out, like, you see the BRICS nation, it's red, white, and blue. Why is Russia red, white, and blue? And why is America red, white, and blue? We're supposedly enemies. Jordan Maxwell went really deep in his symbolism and exposing what's really going on. Wait till you find out what's really going on. How free is New Hampshire? A fight over donuts is about to decide. What's this all about?
Oh, they're fighting over you over in New Hampshire now?
Yeah, you know, your boy Donut. Painting over bakery interest has turned into a free speech battle for the ages. Trial sets February. Let's see what it's all about at Levitt's County Bakery. New Hampshire lets adults drive without a seatbelt, ride without a helmet, and pay no sales tax. But when Sean Young tried to hang a painting over the front door of his donut shop, he found out that the liberty-loving state has its limits. The painting, a mountain range made of muffins and donuts, has thrust the Conway, New Hampshire businessman into a First Amendment battle that has divided this picturesque community and sparked debate about the state's commitment to free speech. Live free or die unless you're hanging artwork, said Young, referring to the state motto. Young thought he was doing a good deed when he bought Levette's Bakery in Conway during the beep. One of his first acts as owner of the local. I don't understand. So he's in trouble for this place looks kind of cool, honestly. Like we should shoot a music video there.
I mean, this would be on brand.
Yeah, I mean he got the sun symbolism.
Maybe we could go and shoot the dead bodies music video in front of this
the street, and I'm just eating donuts and like jelly donuts and the drip 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 blood drip drip drip. That's hilarious.
I pulled up some of my fire notes on Snow White just in case you want to get a little sampling of how deeply occult the original movie was, and I guess why I'm a little bit disappointed with the avenue that Disney started in. But also, there's a Disney conspiracy theory that I think I can get behind, and that's that they re-release movies that they know are going to be inferior to the originals because people will hate watch the first one and then say, I don't remember the original being that bad, and then go and watch the original that's in the Disney archive. So now Disney's getting 2 movie views out of releasing 1 movie. It's kind of ingenious in order to do it this way.
Bro, in the original story of Snow White is about this king who had this prisoner that he kept on forcing himself on sexually.
Well, so here's some of the other like absolutely crazy historical references to the Snow White story. So one of them is that it might have all been based on real people, that the entire Snow White story, all the way to the poison apple and the evil stepmother, all of that was real, that none of this was just fairy tale. One of these stories is a lady named Margaret von Waldeck, and she was a German countess that was born to Philip the Fourth in 1533. And when she was 16, she gets forced by her stepmother, Katharina of Hatzfield, to move away to Brussels. And then she falls in love with this prince who ends up becoming Philip II of Spain. But 5 years later, she mysteriously dies after being poisoned. Now here's where it gets even more interesting, is that, okay, you've got this young Snow White that eats something poisoned and dies from it, but her father owned a bunch of copper mines, and these copper mines had such small little narrow passages that not anyone could work in these mines. They would have to hire children, and they would dress the children up in these very colorful hoods so that you could recognize them in the dark. This is where these 7 dwarves kind of came from. They weren't dwarves. They were actually children that were being forced to work in these underground mines in very horrible conditions. There was another instance, and this was in 1533. So this is mad old. This is like 500 years ago this happened. There's another version of the story that happened about 2 generations before the Bavarian Illuminati. In Bavaria, it was Maria Sophia Erthel, and she was born in 1979. So she's the daughter of this wealthy landowner named Prince Philip. And also in the castle where they lived, which is a museum right now, modern day, they had something called a talking mirror, which was basically an acoustical mirror that could speak, that you could say something to it and it would talk back to you. It was an acoustical anomaly. But this is the premise of the mirror on the wall. This was based on an actual talking mirror. And this wasn't the only talking mirror. There were other examples of this exact same premise. There's one actually in a museum now called the Spessart Museum that has one of these talking mirrors. Also, and this is what's so crazy, is that in this exact same scenario with this daughter of the Baroness that has the talking mirror, her dad also owns mines, and it's in a town called Bieber, by the way, a mining town called Bieber. And again, the mines were so small that they had to employ children in order to work in them. So the entire premise of sending these small people into the mines to bring back up and give their gems to Snow White, the related to Prince, had this royal blood. This is all something that happened at least 2 or 3 times in history, that very likely that the Snow White story was based on real things that were happening.
Wow.
And you're not going to get any of that because the new movie glosses over all of those different aspects.
The truth is stranger than fiction, right? And like that's wild. That's wild. And you've done a lot of deep dives on Disney films, so that's why I knew to bring this up.
And Snow White is the best one, by far. It probably goes Snow White, and then Fantasia, and then maybe Pinocchio. I think those are the heavy, but Snow White beats them all by. Dude, Snow White is the most overtly occult Disney movie. It doesn't have subliminal cult. Literally, the first lines in Snow White. This is my favorite part of the breakdown. Is in the first 1 minute of the movie. Snow White, her first lines that you hear as an audience is, "Want to know a secret? Promise not to tell. We are standing by a wishing well. You make a wish into the well. That's all you have to do. And if you hear it echo, your wish will soon come true." So the first thing she does is she looks into this well and she wishes for a Prince Charming. And in the next frame, a prince comes in and she runs away. And one of the most interesting breakdowns of this is that she's not running away from the prince. She's running away from her own power. She just scared the hell out of herself, realizing how powerful her magic is, that she can say a single incantation into this another mirror, right? What is a well other than a dark mirror? She looks into the well, she does a magical incantation, and it immediately comes true, and it freaks her out. She is absolutely shocked at how well she can perform this magic, because she basically just kind of came of age. And the whole reason I was talking about the colors and the red lips and everything is because this also takes place where there's white doves on the screen. There's these pink cherry blossoms. All of them are supposed to represent the colors of Snow White, the red, white, and black.
Oh, the Templar colors. And this is the castle, the Disney castle is based off of the Bavarian castle and the Illuminati, Bavarian Illuminati, Interesting. Yeah. So
it also sets a precedent and a pattern you'll see in every Disney movie to follow. And that's normalizing this nature magic in which humans can directly talk to animals. You'll notice that happens in nearly every single Disney movie for the next 100 years after Snow White comes out. Or we're getting to 85 years, but damn near a century. That is one of the original motifs, that humans in a Disney movie, to show that they are of some sort of noble birth or they have some sort of supernatural ability, it usually presents itself in the form of being able to commune with nature directly, talk to them, and you can hear what they're saying back to you.
Right. Yeah, I kind of went on a deep dive on the different animals, Illuminati animals, Illuminati mammals, owls, and all the different species of the Illuminati. And why are we relating to so many animals? And I kind of connected it to kind of how the elite look at us as animals, right? Animal Farm, in a sense. So that was a fun deep dive. I don't know if I'm 100% behind that deep dive, but it is interesting. My cat talks to me, but I could be under that toxoplasmosis.
I think you are.
Other stuff in the news is, and anyone who's wondering about my cat, I brought him to the vet to give him drugs. So we're not giving him treats. We're giving him drugs whenever someone signs up for the Illuminati comic. He's super healthy, but I got him on this, it's not CBD, but it's sort of like that where he's just chill. So he's usually jumping up all over the place.
Well, I think you need to feed him some more drugs too, because we got to do a shout out to Bowie for getting the trading card combo.
Oh, sick. Thank you, Bowie. Bowie. Woo woo.
Take those drugs, Jan.
Look at that. We almost there. We almost there. We almost passed through the goal. The goal tonight. Everybody click that link down below. Let's get this past the 36,000 mark. We just need, I think, one Illuminati Yacht Club member. Access the secrets of the Illuminati. You know what I'm saying? We got over 1,300 people watching in here. If you don't want a comic book, I don't understand why you would not want this piece of artwork in your home, especially the beach towel. You definitely want to have that beach towel when you come up on the Yacht Club, the Illuminati Yacht Club. But thank you so much for everybody's support on the Illuminati comic. I mean, what a success this has been, and so much fun. I think we all became wicked, wiki, wild, wild west. Jim West, Desperado, Punk man, you ain't got nado. Nothing then give it to your friend that's been. And not round again. Going down and dance again. No, it's six like doing don't bite it. Do it up. Don't let it. And then when it's in the phone play. Big word style all in it. Getting jiggy with it. Get jiggy with it. Get jiggy with it. And once you unlock them secrets of the stretch goal, you'll get more singing just like that.
That'll all be on the Do-Fi album.
Yes, the Do-Fi album. Wiki whack. Wiki. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing there. But that
I liked it. I like whatever that happened just then.
It was a mixture of Will Smith's Wild Wild West, but it went into getting jiggy with it.
Right. which is maybe a problematic term now in 2024.
Getting jiggy with it?
Yeah, the word jiggy is it's not a compliment.
What do you mean? Is it like a Puff Daddy thing?
It's no, it's a slur.
It's racial?
It's yeah, jiggy is a racial slur.
Oh man.
I don't know if you're allowed to say that right now, actually.
Are you serious? See, I'm like a boomer, bro. Like I don't even know. Mark Zuckerberg seeks active role in Trump tech policy. I'm totally banned off Facebook multiple times, not allowed to advertise there. He's a piece of crap. Meta says it's mistakenly moderating too much. I've been removed multiple times. I can't even run a business. Most of these businesses, people don't understand online business, like, just ridiculous. But we bringing it back to them old Juggalo days. We're gonna have that Illuminati comic at your doorstep. You go sign up to the Illuminati comic, and we come to your doorstep. We pull up in a yacht, park that boat up on the front yard, hop out, shining, flexing. Got that memorabilia, coin, sparkling diamonds, sprinkle, glitter, shining everywhere. I hop out the yacht, walk up the doorsteps, knock. Got to do the 3 Illuminati knocks, and then they open the door, and I say, "Here's your comic. Thank you for your support. Much love. God bless you." Then I vanquish out of there through some sort of teleportation device, and then
that's what we call maritime law,
and that's uncovered. You'll get to learn more about that drip all over the place if you sign up. We teach you them secrets. We teach you the Jewish secrets to making money. We teach you all the different access to all the different secrets. We teach you about diamond nuts. We teach you about Britney Spears. She claims she moved to Mexico. Shout out to Mexico. I love Mexico.
Wait, after just turning 5?
She just turned 5. Yeah, I don't know. I saw it on the.
Oh no, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, she's a 5. So I do another show with Cheney and Abby and Layla on Friday nights at midnight called Secret Society of Good Guys. And we're somewhat obsessed with treating Britney Spears as like an oracle of Delphi, that her cryptic videos and messages all have some sort of like deeper symbolism baked into them. But one of the weird recurring themes is that in her videos, she bounces between these 3 different personas, and one of those personas talks like a baby, talks like a tiny little child baby. It does
Oh
like a weird
yeah,
high-pitched voice
where
that's
she's like,
not her
"Oh,
normal voice.
hello,
And
honey, honey."
this is one of those weird baby
That's the
videos
MK Ultra break.
that 100%. Yeah, this is that like beta sex kitten MK Ultra alter coming out.
Someone says, "Why won't we invite Tommy Truffle on?" We gonna have Tommy Truffle on. We're gonna be doing a big decode with him on The Apprentice, the Trump film. So get ready for that. Yeah, so this is an Illuminati age as well. 43. Britney Spears turned 43. That's a big Illuminati number as well. But she does that. That's her MK Ultra glitch. And she watches your show too, right? Like,
That's the running ideas because they'll
tell her
say
I'll say
something
what's up. Tell her I'll
specific
say what
on
up.
they'll say something on Secret Society Good Guys and then almost get a response on the next Britney Spears video that drops.
Tell Brittany I'll say what's up. Well, you ever been with a juggalo? Woo woo.
If it's actually the real Britney, because that's also a point of contention now.
Yeah. I saw Britney Spears live in concert.
Do you think it was the real one?
Yeah, it was her. I saw it. It was in Vegas. I was a little kid. I have a sister, so I'd go to concerts with my sister. We saw Spice Girls. We saw Britney Spears. You know what I mean? But then I was like, yo, we gotta stop watching these mainstream shows. And then we go to the Juggalo shows with Jelly Roll.
That was, you go from Spice Girls to Juggalos.
It actually went from like punk shows and stuff like that. And then like the big people come into town, you go check them out too, you know. But in Vegas, when you're growing up as a kid, you can't do anything. It's changed a lot from when I lived there in the 90s. It was a small town. It's a different place now. It's took on a whole nother life. It's not the same place that I grew up in. It's huge now, and you couldn't do anything. The only thing you can do is go to the Huntridge Theater and watch punk shows and mosh pit and get drunk with homeless people. And so that's like the only thing you can do in Vegas as a kid.
Well,
but now it's different. Now you can.
Board. Yeah, now you can do anything you want in Vegas. Well, I got a friend that I talked to that was telling me when she was growing up in Vegas, they would go under the streets, and that there's an entire like underground tunnel city.
Yeah.
Sort of like, it almost sounded like Demolition Man style. I don't know if you've seen Demolition Man, where they got this like underground society where they eat rat burgers and they can do whatever the hell they want and not have to play by the rules of like the above ground society. But that there's something that actually exists in Vegas like this, that there's all these entrances to this underground city.
Yeah, it's like an underground city of homeless people. And
right.
A whole mob. I've never been there.
Well, apparently that was one of the things that they did for fun, was the sneak into this underground homeless city. But it wasn't all just homeless people. It was anyone that was just not satisfied with the world above. And of course, that included a lot of transients, but that there was just a lot of counterculture people going down there and just like throwing parties and just causing chaos that you couldn't cause on the streets.
Yeah, but the Vegas floods, so a lot of these people die because the floods happen, and you don't know because it rains way in another town, so it's not even raining in Vegas, and then a flood will come through and kill them all. Like, so I never went down there. I stayed above ground, you know, get that vitamin D, the sunshine. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Get that vitamin D. But yeah, it's shout out to Britney Spears. I've been to mad concerts. Here's some more Illuminati news. FBI is investigating the mysteriously UFO drones showing up everywhere. Look, the UFOs were supposed to show up today. That's what Joe Rogan and the mainstream media was telling everybody. I screenshotted Joe Rogan promoting aliens were showing up today. Tim Pool as well. promoting aliens are showing up today. This is Project Bluebeam. While these mainstream podcasters are telling you that aliens are here, they're also nudging you to take shrooms. So they're nudging you, aliens exist, nudging you, take the mushrooms. They're resetting your autonomic nervous system for a new belief system. That's for the counterculture of the Joe Rogan fans. But people who aren't Joe Rogan fans, they're getting pushed through the Dostoevsky Christianity or religious stuff that Henry Kissinger wrote his master thesis on. Or another thing could be also accessing the secrets as well. I'm not wicked smart. I'm working on getting wicked smart. But every single thing that's happening, how we're getting manipulated into movements by the mainstream, by people connected to bloodlines, by people connected to institutions, religious institutions on all different sides, connected to the mafia. That's also a huge one. They're all manipulating the minds of the masses to move them in the direction of the Illuminati's will. And the Illuminati is a blanket term. The Illuminati are nothing but an arm of secret orders that are still in power today and in control today. The thing that you got to do to break free from this tyranny and this change of manipulation, especially through the AI algorithm, is to stop what you're doing and pray to God and ask God what is his will. And that's pretty much the only way to break free from the chains.
There's another crazy angle to this psychedelic thing too, that I recently did an interview with somebody that has spent their entire life, like PhD level, studying psychedelics. And something that happened in the last 3 or 4 years is that the military is doing an experimental program with certain recruits in boot camp where they're giving them psychedelics in order to help them assimilate. So that whole premise of people that take, a psychedelic and are like, oh, we are all one and I love everybody and, we're all connected on some deeper level. They're using that exact feeling of we are all one and we love each other, but they're focusing it on the military. It's that the military, we are all one. The military is deserving of your love, and that they're trying to make that very personal bond with their commanding officers. And they're finding that using psychedelics to do this works a lot better than any other system they've tried. But it's very experimental right now, but there might be a future in which anyone that goes into the military will end up getting mandatory psychedelics just so that you go through this new awakening. But your awakening happens within the context of being a fighting soldier, like a killing machine for the military. So all of that we are one and like I love you is again directed to the state.
Yeah, I mean, that's stuff that I did when I was like a little kid. You know what I mean? Well, I'm sober and I promote sobriety on this channel. But the Concord prison experiment put on by Timothy Leary is what the world is going through. The world was locked down by every single institution, okayed it by the real power structures that control the world. They released all of its citizens, its good citizens, out into the wild once again after lockdowns. Told everybody it's the Jays and to take these shrooms and the aliens are here. It's all a psyop by the United Nations, by big institutions. Everybody is going through a Concord prison experiment to turn people into good citizens. And there's different digital silos that people are in. And I'm talking for myself. I know Paranoid American. I'm not saying that this is his belief. This is what I think. There's different digital silos of control. So like if you're a kid and you're like 14, when I was 14, they gave me Insane Clown Posse or Rage Against the Machine when I was 10. You know what I mean? They give me Rage Against the Machine, a socialist. Who they vote for? Kamala Harris in Walls or something? They promoted Rage Against the freaking Machine.
Rage for the Machine, yeah.
they promoted Kamala Harris or some shit like that, and so did ICP. What Violent J did, not Shaggy. Shaggy, shout out to Shaggy and Violent J. I love them both. They're allowed to have their belief system too. It's totally fine.
I mean, they made it work. I mean, the Rage Against the Machine kind of defined what a lot of kids in the 90s thought was anarchy or thought was socialism. So it's kind of a genius way to be like, hey, if you really want to revolt against the system, listen to this mainstream music that you can go and buy the shirt at Hot Topic, you can turn on the TV and see it on VH1, you can buy the ticket through Ticketmaster, you can buy the special edition shoes, it's in your Tony Hawk PlayStation game. Like, this is the counterculture that just happens to be available at your local gas station.
Exactly. And so my argument today and what I think, and I don't know if this is true or not, but this is what I think, is that Greta Thunberg, Andrew Tate, people like this that are promoted by the mainstream media as the counterculture is set up for the disenchanted youth, the rebellious youth, the discontents of being a kid, being rebellious. If you're not rebellious as a kid, then your brain's broken. You know what I mean? So the Illuminati power structures in play have things already set up for everybody to fall into. Even the disenchantment of the millennials, me and you, the power structures have that already in play for us to go into their institutions, their religious institutions and whatnot as well. It just, every single thing is fake. And this is funny how I had this up the whole time. C-Mac pointed out how threesomes and swinging went mainstream. I didn't even notice I had it up, but I thought it was an interesting article. I didn't read it, but I thought that was funny. I've read the book though on the pragmatist guide to sexuality. Absolutely mind-breaking. The statistics and that they've gone through having the internet. Like, a lot of people want to ban the naughty videos on the internet, but there's a correlation to banning the naughty videos online to children actually being abused. Like, it's really sick. So people who want to remove naughty videos online, there's this uptick in terrible stuff that happens with children. So people who are like, we need to ban this, is very mind-blowing presentation in that book. And I've read a lot of different books on these topics as well. And it's just freaking crazy. It's a crazy topic. And it's something that people can't look at honestly as well. But I think it's interesting. It's interesting. They were showing the statistics how the people that like to cross-dress are mostly conservatives, but that doesn't mean that they're into like guys. They just like to dress up like women, statistically, wearing like the clothing and whatever. So it went into all these different things. But this thing saying how threesomes and swinging went mainstream, it's interesting because when people are watching these naughty films, they're being cuckolded in a sense as well as a observer watching it. So you're watching these things. That's why one of the number one searches for the naughty stuff is wife getting plowed, cuckolded stuff. That's actually a top search because that's kind of what's happened to people watching it, because watching it is sort of a cuckold in a sense as well. But it also kind of goes into the magic state of semen retention as well, which is an interesting thing. I don't know if it's true or if it's not true or if it's bad or good. It's just weird how so many people want to control people's private parts. I just find that weird how there's different movements saying, do not touch yourself. If you're a guy and you touch yourself, do not do. It's like, why are you trying to control my private parts? That's absolutely weird. I'm sorry if this is getting super weird, but
wait until you get into the box saga, which is the exact opposite of that.
Okay. Well, I've listened to your Box Saga video.
I'm sorry.
And no, I mean it's interesting. It's an interesting take. I didn't listen to most of it. What, 8-hour video?
It's 5.5 hours.
But the other thing is when your mind is seeing all these different women, your brain is sort of saying, "Oh my gosh, I already completed it. I'm a king." In a sense, I've already procreated. I'm seeing all these things. So maybe it's not even the semen retention. Maybe it is the brain being tricked of like, yo, no, you got to get out. You got to go procreate, kind of, you know what I'm saying? So it could be tricking the brain for lowering energy. I don't know. It's weird and fascinating, and I'm into the weird and fascinating.
Well, what's crazy is that how flashing lights in front of your eyes can simulate all of these different things and actually tell your brain that you've gone through these life experiences just from literal red, green, and blue lights flashing rapidly. Like that's kind of a wild concept, and it kind of shows how easily fooled and how open to like manipulation that we are. Like all it takes is flashing lights in order to completely derail your train of thought and change your entire sort of family line.
Look at this kitty. See, he's on mad drugs right now. Like, you see how chill he is? He's way chiller than he usually is because he's on like this like drug where he's extra chill. He's very healthy, absolutely healthy. They did all of his different stuff. He was just peeing on me, so they took his blood. I want to make sure he's okay. This is funny how this is the next slide. A phallic exploding. That wasn't intentional. Eminem, we already covered that. I already been talking about the moon rituals with him. Jelly Roll was the moon. Yeah, let's check on the Illuminati comic. Did we pass our goal?
We're damn close to it.
Close, though. We're close to the goal. If you like these streams, if you like what we're doing here, we got over 1,400 people tuning in all over the place. If you want to give my cat some more drugs, look how, man, he is messed up, bro. Like, it's really nice, though, because he's like, really, look at that chillness. Look at this kitty cat. I took the kitty cat to the vet, and they were just like, wow, what a chill kitty cat. Oh, he was nervous, though. He was scared. And I was like, don't be scared. Don't be scared. But yeah, get your Illuminati comic. And look, I'm happy that we did the stream. It was a fun stream, yeah?
I had a great time, and I was actually happy we got into to Snow White. I didn't even think that was going to come up.
I set that up for you because I know you, because I follow Paranoid American. The Squid Games is coming out. What a great show that was. I did this big breakdown of the different symbols, the death drive. That was fun. The toilet paper thing. What else? Young donut. Bam. I appreciate all y'all. Appreciate you, Paranoid American. We have Isaac Weishaupt on tomorrow with us. So that's going to be an awesome show.
Oh, yeah. We go way back. Like, I think that me and Isaac started talking in 2009, maybe 2010. It was before I even released my very first comic book. Me and him were talking. And I remember, I probably have the email somewhere in my inbox where he's like, hey, I'm thinking about maybe doing like a podcast and showing my face on video. I was like, hell yeah, man, go for it.
Yeah,
and now the dude's like blowing up. Now he's huge.
Yeah, because he was Illuminati watcher. So he was like, I was watching his stuff and I didn't even know it was him.
Yeah, there's a picture. I'm sure I've got it somewhere. He's got it too, where the very first convention that he went to, he didn't have a whole lot to show. He was just kind of like hanging out there, but he had a table, and he was like, "Yo, help me, get some like things to have on the table." So there's a shot of him pushing Paranoid American merch before I even had a website up. So he was like maybe the very first Paranoid American street team was Isaac Weishaupt.
Oh man, that's so dope. So that's going to be a fun show. So yeah, that's going to be tight. I appreciate you, Paranoid American. We went
I
over.
appreciate you, Donut.
We went over the hour. We went to the 2 hour, and we are so close. Everybody, just a reminder to go click that link below. Let's get this past the 36,000 tonight before we bring on Isaac Weishaupt. Only 7 days left to access these secrets. Make sure to sign up. Anyway, anything else before we sign out?
Man, just take this as inspiration to like start that album you've been thinking about, or start writing that book you've been thinking about, or start sketching out that character for the comic book that you've been thinking about. That it all is going to be a really slow process, but it'll be a lot faster if you just start that thing today. Like don't put it off until next week, or when you're in the right mood for it, or if you're waiting for like some divine inspiration to hit. Just force it. Like you literally got to sit down and just force yourself to write it, to draw it, to work on that song, whatever it is. Take that. If you're waiting for a sign, this is your sign. Go and do it.
You heard Paranoid American. Go smash that like button. Go join Paranoid American YouTube. Got his links down below. It's Donut and Chan and Paranoid American.
I still gotta send you my theme song.
Paranoid American. Yeah, he's a paranoid.
That's it. That's the one. I think Juan plays it every time, but I forgot I even had it until the last time I did a show with Juan.
Much love, everybody.
And God bless
you. Yo, what up? It's Donut, and you tuning in to all your Illuminati news. Get your copy of the Illuminati comic. IlluminatiComic.com. You know you want it. Get early bird access to massive discounts and exclusive gifts. Dropping worldwide. Learn the secrets of the Illuminati. Access the secrets. Join the Illuminati Yacht Club. Get the Donut VHS box and join the street team. Click the link below. Limited time only. Access the secrets. Oh, what up? It's Donut. The Illuminati comic dropped worldwide. Get your Illuminati comic today about the Bavarian Illuminati exposing the infamous secret society. It's a chit track Illuminati comic. Make sure to go back this project. We were fully funded in 3 minutes.
Learn about the full history of the Bavarian Illuminati. Adam Weishaupt, Alumbrados, Jesuits, Rosicrucians, Freemasons, and more.
We got early bird access today only. If you subscribe today, you get a massive discount anywhere in the world. The digital deluxe tier. Get the digital copy plus an add-on private video presentation. Get the black and white chit track Illuminati comic, or get it in color. I mean, I would get it in color because this is banging. Learn all the secrets. and the donut VHS box. Get the early bird special. This ends today. These sell out so quickly. Very, very popular. And it's the first time ever we're doing them worldwide with the Illuminati comic. Massive discounts today only. Click that link below. The Illuminati Street Team. Become part of the Street Team. Get a bunch of these comics and slang them. You can make a bunch of money. You can make your money back and profit. If you got a store, you can sell them out of your store, or just hand them out, leave them at the library. Join the Illuminati Street Team. Or if you a big baller like that and you want to be part of the Illuminati Yacht Club, that's for the big ballers right there who want to join the Illuminati Yacht Club. I mean, that's that official, like a referee whistle pledge right there. So click that link below. This is the Illuminati comic. Sign up right now. Reserve your spot. Much love and God bless you.
That's right, it's the Illuminati comic from Donut and Paranoid American. Get yours now at IlluminatiComic.com.